Now that we have seen the potential for a ladies-only planet, a sort of real-life Themyscira but with visible planes and functioning toilets, it's time to enter the warm, loving embrace of the Brotherhood of Man.
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America, fuck yeah! Freedom is the only way, yeah! Terrorists, your game is through, cause now you have to answer to America, fuck yeah! So lick my butt and suck on my balls, America, fuck yeah!
It's of course very tempting to say that the world would instantly degenerate into a Warhammer 40,000 level of bleak, endless desolation and constant savagery, all within about 20 minutes of women disappearing. Probably fun as well. Who doesn't like stalking the streets with a clawhammer and a nail gun looking to exact justice by opening up people's skulls for wearing the wrong coloured football shirt or whatever? But for the sake of padding out my video selection, let's look at what a male-only planet Earth might look like. Again, at first glance, imagine the good times to be had. Both our football and the ridiculous American one would become 24/7 events. There would be so many sports teams, even Colin Kaepernick would get hired again. Suits with ties, or neck prisons as I sometimes call them, or never call them ever, would be chucked on a giant fire, and men can go back to wearing 80s metal band shirts stained with years of unwashed tomato sauce, those stupid tourist style Jurassic Park shorts, and wearing trainers in every situation. Just think about it, you could wear your Nikes to a wedding, your Adidas to a funeral, you could bust out the Lonsdales for interviews, whilst you're wearing a hoodie and a tracksuit of some sort. Radio, for instance, would probably stop playing that pop clown shoe nonsense and go back to rap and metal only, music specifically about masculine power and punching people. There will be no distractions for men, so we can focus on building things and then quickly destroying them. The remaining children will finally be put back to work where they belong, doing some depressing, mind-numbing labour until they're old enough to do something even more mind-numbing. Whereas women would get vibrators at their airports, men would hopefully get chainsaws, because cutting down large trees looks really satisfying, and now we have free reign to chop down anything we want. Jobs like nursing, care work, all that bullshit. No pal, we are too busy bringing back the moustache and painting racing stripes on our 8-year-old Ford Focuses to care about that bullshit. With no women around to shame men into embarrassed silence, we would be able to call our penises anything we want. The meat scepter, the pink cannon, the flesh Lamborghini, the 11th toe, the wrinkly kebab skewer, the ham candle, the porco gun, the 24-inch python, the sexual predator, the spice worm, the purple battalion, the mini Thanos, the Japanese insurgent, the communist invader, the throbbing meat whistle, the M16 inches, the yardarm for you nautical types, the Battlestar Galacticock, the albino dragon if you're white, the Black Panther if you're black, assuming it's okay to make that comparison. If you're Asian, perhaps the extra spicy spring roll. You get the point. Men can be as stupid and immature as we want. Things like Bacardi Breezers will be instantly banned from pubs. Colours other than brown and green will also be banned from pubs, and creepy old men can take their rightful place of honour at that one small table near the bar and next to the deal or no deal slot machine, nursing the same double whiskey for 4 hours whilst reading an actual real life newspaper made out of actual paper. Another positive would be that all the Harvey Weinsteins out there would probably kill themselves. With no women to sexually assault, they'd have to either learn how to behave like actual fucking human beings, or risk assaulting some dude who's like a black belt and removing spines from bodies. The baser male instincts would come out in other strange ways. Architecture would be shaped by the everything kind of looks like a dick rule. Offices, towers, gyms, cars, except oddly for actual sex toys. Just think about the scientific advancements, all the fantastic ways that we could build new and exciting sex robots, or trying to grow wings for humans, or basically trying to turn everyone into the X-Men. Like Magneto's plot in the first movie back when colour was banned from superhero films, except hopefully we'll all have cool powers to fight each other with to hide the existential despair, and hopefully not turn into weird watery fish creatures. Just like with the ladies, this male-only society won't be all ham and plaques for everyone. With no ladies to impress, soap sales would all but stop. Hygiene would become, literally and metaphorically, a dirty word, relegated to the wistful clouds of history like chivalry, decent standards of public behaviour, moderate levels of drinking, and any job that does not involve hammers. Back and nostril hair will grow untended, spreading like the red weed from War of the Worlds. In a shocking twist, DIY would fade away as the vast majority of men only pretend to know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to putting up shelves or building a shed to impress their wives, which is why they always put it off. The handful of men who can still actually build and create physical objects without crying about the effort will be press-ganged into work groups, moving from city to city like locusts, but with tool belts that don't quite hold up their trousers, and an incessant need to spray white paint everywhere and drink everybody else's tea and coffee. Also, I guess we would all become incels, except for gay men who would become a self-segregated community of really, really happy dudes because they're getting laid constantly and no one else is, living off in barricaded, brightly decorated sex fortresses like Mega City 1. The rest of male society would be unwashed, nude freaks who smell like kebabs and shame, masturbating publicly and trying to put their penises into random openings. Without the calming influence of women around to tell us all stuff like, that's fucking stupid, you're going to kill yourself, don't be an idiot, and so on, men will be free to do all the ridiculous, pointlessly dangerous stuff with zero benefits that we secretly always want to do. Racing cars will be the only way to travel except for blindfolded pilots, and trains that go slightly too fast for those lane switchy guys. Let's look at some real talk here, yo. Without women around with their soft caring hearts and manicured hands, men can stop pretending that we don't want to commit delicious murder every minute of every day. Sword fights, roving gangs of sexless Mad Max dudes clubbing each other with furniture legs, internet flame wars can now translate to real life, and so on and so on. So if you see someone who thinks your games console is crap, or that your favourite sportsman is like super gay or whatever, or even if they've got that shiny sticker that you need to complete your World Cup sticker book, then you have the right to shout at them from across the street and then get your friends to pretend to hold you back in a desperate attempt to be seen to be a real badass without ever actually getting into a real fight, because it's important that everyone there knows that your penis is slightly bigger than his penis across the street. Since men can apparently only see around 16 colours or whatever, and are fond of boring routines, life will become quite streamlined. We'll only need about 4 or 5 channels. I mean, who needs all those other weird channels? Food Network? Come on, man. Microwaves exist for most foods, and anything else we need will cook on an open flame from the back of an overturned car. We'll have some sports shows, endless repeats of crime shows, JAG for the older guys, NCIS and CSI for middle of the range guys, and several other shows that are just letters for some reason. Some old sci-fi, some Top Gear, and if you insist, shows about the news, I guess. Movies will be legally obligated to have gun or kill in the title. Steven Seagal, the world's sexiest ninja and potential abuser, will become a global star again. You can go to restaurants and you can have steak or the other kind of steak. Your standard diet will be 25% chips, 25% sweet potato chips, 25% anything covered in that disgusting drippy cheese that people like for some reason, and 25% bacon and eggs. And you'll never need to share your chips. Sick of ordering second servings of fries just to avoid this hippopotamus shit. Get your own fries, bitch. Beer will be served with everything, even though beer tastes like undistilled salt water and piss. Given that 99% of men will be morbidly obese, stain-drenched, monosyllabic, uncultured oafs, shirts below triple XL will be banned. Books will probably also be banned unless they're at least 40% pictures. A religion would form around breasts. as someone would foretell of a prophecy that one day breasts will arise from the dead. Not like rotting, zombie-esque corpse breasts, but smooth, perky, plump orbs of delight. Churches would spring up with large marble statues of just gigantic titties. To be honest, I'm not sure I'd like to read the prayer books of such a church, because it would probably be halfway between a prolonged suicide note and an incel message board. Of course, this is all assuming that without women around to soften the rough edges of maleness, that we wouldn't all destroy each other in global nuclear fire within about 30 minutes. But at least you get to openly talk about blowjobs at the office again without that bitch Sarah raising a complaint with HR. Just saying.